MultiGP 2024 Global Qualifier track voting is finishing today, but I think I still got time for track bitching. There's always time for track bitching. So how does it work? You go to this page, the link will be in the description, Express LRS. Scroll a little bit down here and you can see 6 tracks you can choose from, and I think you should first fly them in Velocidrone, and that's what we're gonna do today. After you fly all of them and you form your highly educated opinion, right here there's voting, and I am not allowed to take part in this voting because I was one of the judges. There are 3 judges to pick 6 tracks out of 50. Mr. AK, me, and Mr. E, and Mr. is a part of his pilot name. AK looks very young here, and for my photo MultiGP picked my wing photo with DJI. That's interesting. So we're gonna spin up simulator.
You're a shit pilot. Yes, you're shit.
And start track bitching. Moreover, because I was one of the judges, I have access to all 50 tracks that people made, and I have a lot to say. Not like anyone asked for my opinion. Actually, they asked for my opinion this year. So you see, bitching can take you somewhere, but do you wanna be there? But first, let me call to my track design expert.
Well, here we are today. We're going to be flying some race drones and just got to get all our stuff together. So, just going to get my battery on. All right. Where's my goggles, though? I got my goggles. Those are ready, but I leave them. I got my radio over there. Where's my? Like, where's my radio? Where am I? Still? Where's my radio? Like, is it under here? Where am I? Like, where am I? Radio? Where's my radio? Where am I? My goggles are just like...
Hey! You didn't answer my phone!
Global Qualifier track is very important because all of the MultiGP chapters around the world will be building and flying track that you are voting for now. And there will be a global leaderboard of all the shit pilots of how fast they're finishing 3 laps on this track. To find the 6 tracks in Velocidrone is pretty simple. You just type 2024 MultiGP GQ and there we go. For the record, I don't know who made these tracks, and this is good, so it's kind of anonymous voting, and you can see they gave them weird names that I don't even know how to read, so you can have fun with that. So let's start from Anole. Anole? Whatever. So let's just fly a couple of laps so that you see what's up. There's a start gate with aggressive corkscrew, then entering into the double gate above the hurdle. This was awesome element, by the way. Then we got orbit, we got fast slalom into this reversed gate. And then we're back to this element. And look at this element. It just feels so nice to fly it. The guy who invented that, I think he's just genius. And he uses double gate, which is always a question. So, because building a double gate in real life is extra hassle. So every time you put a double gate on your track, especially if it's a GQ, you need to think twice. Like, is it justified? Does it add anything to the track, or you can just replace it with a flag and the gate of one level gate? And I think just this element is awesome. Like, I don't know what else I gotta say. Like, it's nice use of hurdle, nice use of double gate. Everything here feels so nice, and this is a new element that at least I haven't flown before. And I'm looking forward to fly it in real life. The rest of the track is pretty good. I don't see any 5-degree gates, and if you don't know what is a 5-degree gate, I'll leave a link in the description for my previous video where I'm explaining in details what's a 5-degree gate. But in short terms, a 5-degree gate is a gate that you have to shoot from far away at a weird angle, like this, for example. So if this was a 5-degree gate, it means you would have to fly it like this very fast at a weird angle. And that gate would cause a bunch of broken motors, and I think I'll have an examples of actual 5-degree gates on the track later on in this video, but just so that you understand, there are like no toxic gates on this track. This corkscrew right at start, it could be a little bit toxic because you're flying from far away very fast. So this is a start gate and then you do a corkscrew. And if you mess it up here, then you ended up with broken motors, right? Because you're so fast and you kind of coming blindly into this corkscrew if you're trying to be fast, right? So Minchen would would fly it something like this, right? Well, you see, I'm not Minchin. But you know what I say. I don't think it's a problem on this track. Anyways, let's move on to the next track. GQ Basilisk. Basilisk, let's go. Couple of laps as always. There's a start gate. A useless hurdle. We'll come back to it a little bit later. This is a nice gate. This is not a 5-degree gate. This cool element. We're going to high-low into this gate, and this is a start gate. So this hurdle, why I think this is useless. Imagine we remove this hurdle, so there's no hurdle. What it means? It means we can just go here a little bit lower, and that's it. Like, after this hurdle, you kind of already need to be high, because you're doing this maneuver, right? After the hurdle. So this hurdle doesn't really add anything. Like, you kind of already high there. Yeah, without the hurdle, here you can be a little bit lower, but is it a big deal? Like, I don't think this hurdle changes much on this track. I'd rather just remove this hurdle. It doesn't add much. So then moving to these, and then some people might say that this gate is a 5-degree gate, but this is not a 5-degree gate. Yes, you're shooting into this gate from far away at a weird angle, but the ideal line is 90 degrees relative to this gate. So you're turning into this gate. So this is, by my definition, this is not 5-degree gate, and this is not a problem. Now this element. So you're coming here, and then you split S into the far gate, and then the track forces you to turn right after this split S. But in real life, you can't really force pilots to turn left or right after these gates. So in theory, by UTT rules, you can do this. And maybe this will be even faster. Let's try it again. So you're coming here, and then you split S here, and then you do this. Yeah, that could be faster in real life. And like in Velocidrone, you can put invisible gate, and that's what it is here. Let me restart it so that you can see. So you're coming here, and then you do split S, go through this gate, and you see there is, in Velocidrone, there is invisible gate right there, but in real life, you cannot do that. But I don't think it's a problem, whatever line you decide to choose. Like, both of these lines are good. It's not like they're breaking the track or anything. So this track is pretty good. I don't see any 5-degree gates. There is a useless hurdle. A good side of this track also that there is no double gate, so it's a little bit easier to build. I like it all. Let's move on. The next one is GQ Gecko. So here we have a start gate coming into carousel, then above the useless hurdle, and then split S U-turn next to the useless hurdle, and then stitching thing, corkscrew, U-turn, corkscrew, which is pretty cool, and then back to carousel, and then see this useless hurdle. So you're flying from right here, and you cannot really go low here, even there is no hurdle, because you cannot go through this gate in reverse. Like, that's like against the rules. You can, of course, without the hurdle, you can fly something like this, but you can do it even with the hurdle. So, and when you go back, this hurdle does even less. It's like, I don't think we should be forcing chapters to build something that they're not actually using on the track. And this hurdle is a, I think, primary example. I want to point out that you see some of the gates are at 45 degrees to the grid, like these 4 gates, and then this gate is at 45 degrees to the grid. And for some chapters, this could be a problem to measure in real life, because in our chapter we have Cole, and he's like a land surveyor with all fancy GPS stuff, but not all chapters has Cole, and might be a problem for them to build this track. But, well, life is not fair, so there we go. Overall, like, I like this track except useless hurdle. Like, all of these feels pretty cool. And all these elements. Yeah, I think this track is good, but let's move on. We cannot see the results of MultiGP official voting just yet, but here in Velocidrone we actually can see the unofficial voting. And the next track, GQ Iguana, has the least amount of stars, 3 out of 5. 17 people voted. So let's see what's up. This is the start gate. Kinda nice carousel. This is the 5-degree gate. Split S. Double gate high-low, corkscrew, above the hurdle, which is questionable hurdle, and then another classic 5-degree gate. Again, this is a carousel, 5-degree gate, and then double gate orbit, corkscrew, kind of weird hurdle, and then 5-degree gate. So let's look at this last gate on the track right before the start-finish gate, and I called it a classic 5-degree gate, and you can even see how the cones are going. So pilots who want to put a good time on this track will be forced to fly like this, and they will be shooting into this gate from far away at a weird angle like this, and yeah, this causes your motors to break and all the other bad thing happening. So yeah, this is what I call 5-degree gate, because you can see the ideal fastest line through this gate going pretty much at 5 degrees, like plus minus to this gate, like this. Another somewhat 5-degree gate on this track. I think it has a 5-degree smell. So you go here and then this gate. Did you see it? The cones are going here approximately at 45 degrees, but the ideal line is still you shooting from far away like this and doing a weird maneuver inside. And this is a pretty fast maneuver. It's not as bad as the previous gate we looked at, but I still call it a 5-degree gate, even though it's not exactly 5 degrees. But you understand what I mean. Since this is a track beaching, let's also look at this hurdle use. So you're coming through this gate, above the hurdle, orbit into the gate, and that's it. I don't think it's a useless hurdle, but I don't think this is a nice use of a hurdle, especially if you compare it with the first track we looked at. Like, hurdle could be a cool element, but here you're just orbiting, and then you're basically wasting a flag, a gate, and the hurdle for just a kind of a classic orbit. That's just my opinion. Let's also talk a little bit about this portion of the track. So you go through this gate, you go around the flag, top of the double gate, orbit down, and then corkscrew. Now imagine we're removing this flag, we're removing the top gate right here, and we're putting this flag, we're putting it right here on this leg. And then basically we're going through the gate, orbiting the flag, and then corkscrew. So the flow stays exactly the same, but you're removing the double gate so people don't have to build it anymore. And you will also have extra gate to put somewhere on the track. Then maybe like to make this element right here somewhat more interesting with the extra gate. So I think track designers should always think about how they can simplify the track without breaking the flow, so that they have more elements overall and that people don't have to build a double gate. I think that this is a good example. Let's fly it again. So right now you fly through the gate, around the flag, just orbiting, and then corkscrew. Now if you remove this flag, remove the top of the gate and put flag right here, so you have to orbit that. You just come here, you're cutting it a little bit shorter, but it's the same flow. And then you can do something interesting right here with the extra gate you have. But I think this track is not bad at all, especially because it won over other 50 tracks, and I'd be glad to fly it in real life actually. But let's move on. MultiGP GQ Komodo. Let's see what's up here. So this is a start gate. Above the gate, slaloming flags, back through the gate, then we're going to double corkscrew, that feels nice. Above the hurdle, slalom these two flags, then split S. Then this gate is kind of a 5-degree-ish gate, and then this is a start again. Let's go. This section is very nice with a double corkscrew, and then you're kind of shooting above the hurdle. This is awesome. I like it a lot. And then this gate, you see, it's like kind of a 45-degree gate. It's not exactly 5-degree gate, but I would change it a little bit if I could. Also, this hurdle is nice, so you like it kind of changes your last corkscrew so that you're shooting above it. But if a track designer put this hurdle to avoid mid-airs, people can still go here. Like, nothing in the rules that says you cannot do these after your corkscrew. And maybe some people will even do that. It's not that you need to be concerned about cross-traffic mid-airs, but if you put a gate here to avoid them, then that could be not such a good hurdle. But to fly like this, probably that's how the fastest pilots will be flying. So after corkscrew, they'll be like shooting up a little bit, and that actually feels nice. Alright guys, I have a mixed feelings about this hurdle, alright? I don't know what to say about this. It's good, but it also could be better. But it's good. Like, all of this track is good. And there is no double gate on this track. I like it a lot. This split S is nice. This kind of 45-degree-ish gate. I don't know, guys. What do you think? This is nice. This is a good track, alright? I'll give it some credit. This is a good track, and there are no 45-degree gates relative to the grid. I think it will be pretty easy to measure. The start gate is well separated from the rest of the track, and it's kind of have a, like, with these, like, all of these feels very nice. I like this track. Let's move on. MultiGP GQ Skink. So let's see what stinks here. Start gate. We're moving to a nice section with the extra orbiting above the hurdle, split S, and reverse split S, which is cool. I need to practice that more. I'm gonna go orbit next to the hurdle, start gate. This track is actually nice, and this section where you need like extra orbit around the flag, I like it. It's like one flag, but you add so much extra moves around it. And we go here and start gate. Let's fly it again. So this is the element I'm big fan of. Then this hurdle. So this hurdle just basically only makes you to go high. Yes, it kind of like helps you avoid cross-traffic mid-airs right here, but it also makes you go high, so you'll have to actually split S that gate, right? So if there is no hurdle, then pilots would be flying like this, right? Like sort of doing like a dick move. Which is also fine, but adding this as like a classic split S is cool. And then we have reverse split S, which is cool. Then we have this orbit. Start gate. I like this track. Now, this track has a double gate, and let's see if it's justified. Can we replace this double gate with a gate and a flag on the side of it? So we're going to split S here, and then reverse split S, and then if there was a flag on the right side, technically that could be the same. And I think building a flag is easier than building a double gate. Maybe it's even cheaper. But here it probably won't do the trick actually, because if there is just a flag, not a gate, it means after reverse split S, you can go here. You would still trigger the flag in real life. But that would be like a different maneuver. So yeah, I think double gate use here is justified. You cannot really replace it here with a gate and the flag. But maybe for the next year, MultiGP has a new rule. So you can have a double gate on the track, and then you have 5 gates. Or you don't use double gate on the track, but then you have extra flag number 6. That would be interesting. Also, this track has one gate, this one, that is positioned at 45 degrees to the grid. But that's still, like in this case, it's still fine, because you still have to measure this line of gates, so you know where this leg is. And then you still have to measure the hurdle. And then this leg of this 45-degree gate is positioned like on the same line. So it's actually should be pretty easy for the chapters to measure. Yeah, I think I'm a fan of this track, especially the beginning. And hurdle is nice. This is all cool. Reverse split S is a unique maneuver. And then you got orbit here and here. And then you got start gate, which is well separated from the rest of the track. Yeah, it is. Cool. So we just reviewed 6 tracks that you can go and vote for right now, but us judges had to go through 50 tracks to pick these 6 tracks. And this is my uncensored spreadsheet with the rating and the comments that I left for each track. I just wanted to point out some of the common mistakes so that track designers don't make them in future. I should have censored it. Don't take it close to your heart. So the first mistake I wanted to point out that was present in some of the tracks is the start gate position. This was a start gate. See, this is a start block, and the start gate is right in the middle of the track. In case you didn't know, we're using the timing system that catches the video signal as the drone flies close to it, and this is why the start gate should be well separated from the rest of the track. So this is a start gate, and if at some point in the middle of the track you come close to it, like here for example, you literally come at the top of the start gate, this will trigger the timing system and it will cause confusion and just extra pain for the track organizer, for the race organizer. And we love race organizers, we don't want them to be angry. Another quick tip for the track designers, I think you should put some cones on your track. It's not that important, it doesn't change the track flow, but it just shows that you put some thoughts in your track, that you love it, you spend some time on it. And you're ready to present it for the judges or for the community. It is kind of similar to, let's say, the outfit in the dancing competition. The judges probably not judging how you're looking, but it's still nice for judges to see like a nice ladies dressed up in a cool dresses instead of, I don't know, instead of what, but you know what I mean. And don't overdo it. Don't put like a too fancy 3D cones or anything, just simple cones that help to learn the track. That would be nice. Another thing, be very careful with invisible gates. Try to use them as less as possible, because remember, in real life you cannot use invisible gates. For example, right here there is an invisible gate and you can just go under it inside of this gate, right? So like, what am I supposed to do? Why do I have to fly up and then down instead of just like flying here and then here, right? In real life, that's just not realistic, just to force pilots to fly up here and then dive into this gate. Do I have to be 3 feet above the ground here so that it counts, or do I need to be 5 feet above the ground so that it counts? Like, what's the deal here? Just don't do that. Also, I think it's important to at least kind of understand how fast people are flying, like Minchen or Evan. For example, look at this gate. So from this gate, we're coming here, and then there is again an invisible gate up there, right? So fast pilot, because you need to go there after this gate. So fast pilot will probably just fly like this. And in real life, it will still trigger this flag. Like, this flag will still be triggered and everything is good. So you cannot force people to fly above the gate in real life, and just fast pilots will be just doing this. Whereas in Velocitron, you are forcing people to fly above this gate, and again, sometimes it's just not realistic. I have to apologize. Whoever designed this track number 49, I'm just throwing all of these mistakes on your track, but you're not alone. Bunch of other tracks had the same mistakes. And we're all shit pilots, shit track designers. This is all fine. We're just trying to be better tomorrow. Let's come back to the Gecko track. I think it's a good example. Pay attention to how many right turns I'm doing while I'm flying this track. So this is one left turn, quick little left turn. This is all right turn. This is right. This is quick left. This is right. This is right. This is quick left. And all of it is pretty much right turns, except like a couple of little things. I don't think it's critical here, because we're still observing some left turns, just way more right turns. Look at this track, for example. So we're going here, This is all right turn, right turn, right turn. This is left, left. This is right, 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 right. So here in Velocitron, you have to exit to the left to orbit, but in real life, pilots will be just flying this, still to the right, and this is still to the right. And so this track is like pretty much all right turns except the quick little thing where you go above the track. But the track designer said you have to fly left, which you cannot enforce in real life. Maybe next year MultiGP decides that you can use a side of a double gate as a flag so that you can enforce left or right exit from the double gate. And then this would be fine. But in my understanding, as of now, you cannot enforce pilots to go left here. So they'll be just going right. It's just easier and faster. Another example I wanted to share. So look at this track. We're orbiting down. Then we're orbiting up. And we go here. This is okay. This is all good. Split us here. And do you see anything here? See this hurdle? In Velocitron, we are forced to fly above it. But in real life, you cannot force pilots to fly above the hurdle. So if they want to, they will be flying right here, and that's pretty much the line they will be using, or like right here, which is almost a straight line. Yeah, you cannot enforce pilots to fly above the hurdle like this. I think the only official MultiGP rule for the hurdle is just don't hit it, and that's it. So this is one of the other examples of, I think, useless hurdle. Also, let's look at the beginning of this track. So this is a start gate, and then we're orbiting down. This is orbit 1. And then we orbiting up. This is orbit number 2. And basically we wasted 2 flags and 4 gates just for 2 orbits. Like, orbits are fun, but pretty much anything would be more fun than just 2 orbits back to back. Because remember, GQ has a limited number of materials you can use on the track. It's only 10 gates and 5 flags. So probably something like Mad's boobs here would probably be more viable. I don't know, a lot of things would be better than 2 orbits. And also I just noticed that as you're doing, so this is a start gate, and as you're doing the second orbit, you're coming very close to the timing system, which will make a race manager to be very angry. And remember guys, track beaching is always so much easier than the actual track design, and that's why I have so much respect to all of you who applied for this contest. Just imagine poor Neil, Mr. Nice, has to listen to me every time he designs a track for us in real life.
This is bullshit.
Calm down, bitch.
For all of our future track designers, because track beaching is so easy, that's why you should always do a self-track beaching after you design a track. You should check your track flow, novelty, etc. And this comes down to how much of an experienced pilot you are, how many tracks did you design in the past, basically a stick time. Because nobody's just born as a good track designer. That's a skill that you have to develop also by listening to other people beaching on your tracks. Also, a track design is a craft or an art that evolving over time, so Global Qualifier from 5 years ago probably not a good track these days. Of course, you have to understand in details what is a 5-degree gate and self-assess. Do you happen to have a 5-degree gate on your track? Also, you need to check if your start gate is well separated from the rest of the track for the timing system purposes. Also, you need to evaluate your hurdle. Is it a useless hurdle? Does it bring anything on the table? Did you put hurdle just to avoid mid-airs? Then probably it's not a good hurdle. Is it possible to break your track by some fast pilots? So you're thinking pilots will turn right here, but what if they turn left because you cannot enforce the exit from the gate? What's gonna happen after that? So if that new line is actually slower, way slower, then probably it's not a problem. But what if that other line is faster? How do you enforce people from not doing that line? Triple check your invisible gates in Velocitron, because remember, in real life, no invisible gates allowed. Are your double gates justified? Can you get rid of them? Because they're kind of pain in the ass in real life to build. Is it easy to measure your track with a tape in real life, or you have some 30 degrees gates relative to the grid? This is not a problem for some random tracks that you fly at your local club, but for GQ you should think about, alright, I have a measuring tape. Is it easy to put up my track? How many points I have to measure on the grid before I build the track? Is it like 1,000 different points I need to measure, or is it just 5? This is important. Left-right turns balance. You know what to do. Just fly your track and count. It doesn't have to be exactly 50-50 left-right turns, but it just cannot be 10 to 90. Apologize for my voice, it's too much bitching, but you absolutely should break all of these rules for your personal practice tracks, because flying super uncomfortable track will make you a better pilot for sure, but global qualifier and public tracks are different, because we all want to enjoy drone racing. So if you're planning to fly global qualifier this year, go do some voting. If you haven't done yet, the link in the description. I think today is actually the last day to do that. Alright, that's gonna do it. I hope you enjoyed the 30 minutes of bitching, and as always, see you in the next video. If I'm not lazy, actually check also our live streams. They're spicy and fun.
Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. It's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.